Hey everyone, it's the Diplomat, and we are on part 41 of the Chris Watts Discovery Read-Through. And in this part, we're going to go through the toxicology and autopsy report for Celeste. This is the final one, and I just thank you for going through these with me. I know it hasn't been easy. Some of the information will be repeated from previous, especially some of the definitions of the compounds. But just in case anyone's just listening to these individually, I want to make sure that they have that information in here. So with that, let's get into this report. So on the first page here, we have NMS Labs Toxicology Report. Report issued September 7th, 2018 at 5:02 p.m. And this is for Celeste. So the positive findings are as follows. Compound, butanol. Result, 4.4. Matrix source, spleen blood. Ethanol. Result, 31. Propanol, present. Acetaldehyde, present. Ethanol, see comment. And that was from the liver tissue. All the others I read were from the spleen blood. Now you notice there is a difference between what was found in Bella's as positive findings and what was found in Celeste's as positive findings. Testing requested. Description, postmortem, basic, tissue, in parentheses, forensic. The second one, hydrocarbon and oxygenated volatiles panel, blood. The following specimens were received. The tube or container, gray top tube, volume 3.5 milliliters. This was all collected on August 17th. That was from the spleen blood, the gray top tube. Homogenate container, volume not given, also spleen blood. Gray top tube, 0.7 grams. Matrix source just lists fluid. Orange plastic container, 27 grams, liver tissue. Homogenate container, volume not given, liver tissue. All sample volumes, weights are approximations, specimens received on August 21st. So again, collected on the 17th and delivered to NMS on the 21st. Okay, next is the detailed findings. It lists all of those compounds that we read before. And then it says the concentration of ethanol increased from 99 milligrams out of 100 grams to 174 milligrams over 100 grams over the course of multiple analyses. The nature of the specimen and/or the container type, which may not contain preservative, may explain the variable quantitative results. Other than the above findings, examination of the specimen submitted did not reveal any positive findings of toxicological significance by procedures outlined in the accompanying analysis summary. Reference comments. Acetaldehyde, spleen blood. Acetaldehyde is a flammable, colorless liquid used industrially in many processes, for example, dye, pharmaceutical, and chemical manufacturing. In vivo, it can be found as the result of metabolism of numerous drugs, chemicals, and foods. A primary source for the finding of acetaldehyde in biological specimens is via the metabolism of ethyl alcohol. Other common sources may include paraldehyde, metaldehyde, phenacetin, ethyl esters, and vanilla. Some pathological conditions, for example diabetes, can account for increased acetaldehyde levels in vivo, especially after consumption of alcohol. Alcoholics and individuals taking the aldehyde dehydrogenase inhibitor disulfiram anti-abuse concurrently with alcohol consumption may have elevated blood levels of acetaldehyde. Normal blood levels of acetaldehyde are probably less than 0.02 milligrams. Adverse effects such as flushing, headache, and shortness of breath may be present at acetaldehyde blood concentrations greater than 0.18 milligrams. Acetaldehyde is an unstable compound post-collection and will both form and degrade under certain sample handling conditions. 2. Ethanol, ethyl alcohol, spleen blood. Ethyl alcohol, in parentheses ethanol or drinking alcohol, is a central nervous system depressant and can cause effects such as impaired judgment, reduced alertness, and impaired muscular coordination. Ethanol can also be a product of decomposition or degradation of biological samples. Number 3, it lists the same ethanol, it's just from the liver tissue. And then 4 is butanol, butyl alcohol, spleen blood. Butanol is a flammable liquid used as a solvent for fats, waxes, resins, shellac, and varnish. It is also used in the manufacture of lacquers, rayon, and certain detergents. Exposure by inhalation may result in irritation to the mucous membranes, coughing, difficulty breathing, headache, dizziness, and drowsiness. It can be absorbed through the skin, leading to symptoms resembling oral ingestion. Oral ingestion may result in sedation, abdominal pain, nausea, headache, dizziness, and diarrhea. Large doses may affect the liver and kidneys. The acute toxicity is estimated to be about 3 times that of ethyl alcohol. 5. Propanol, propyl alcohol, spleen blood. Propanol is an alcohol that is commonly used as a solvent for such materials as oils, lacquers, leather furnishings, inks, dyes, cosmetics, etc. This compound is an irritant to mucous membranes and conjunctiva. Systemic exposure to propanol can produce mild central nervous system depression. In animals exposed to vapors of propanol, signs included intoxication, irritation of mucous membranes, ataxia, lethargy, narcosis, and death. Propanol is also a product of decomposition. Sample comments. Physician pathologist is Burson, County Weld. Then it says blood specimen required homogenization. NMS labs generated homogenized blood sample. Tissue specimen required homogenization. NMS labs generated homogenized tissue sample. Unless alternate arrangements are made by you, the remainder of the submitted specimens will be discarded 1 year from the date of this report, and generated data will be discarded 5 years from the date the analyses were performed. Analysis summary and reporting limits. All of the following tests were performed for this case. For each test, the compounds listed were included in the scope. The reporting limit listed for each compound represents the lowest concentration of the compound that will be reported as being positive. If the compound is listed as none detected, it is not present above the reporting limit. Please refer to the positive findings section of the report for those compounds that were identified as being present. So listed here, hydrocarbon and oxygenated volatiles, panel, blood, spleen blood, analysis by headspace gas chromatography, 4, and then it lists a whole bunch of compounds that I won't read all of them, but if you're interested, again, those are also listed here on 1027. And then the additional compounds that were tested through liver tissue and such are on page 1028. But again, we'll focus just on the positive findings. And then it lists, again, it shows handwritten form filled out, but we will go right to the autopsy report where all of that information is contained. Name of decedent, Celeste Watts. Date and time of death, August 16th, 2018 at 3:40 p.m. That's the pronounced. Date and time of autopsy, August 17th at 5:30 p.m. Diagnoses. History of being reported missing and subsequently located in an obvious state of death within an oil tank battery. Asphyxiation due to smothering. Mild post-mortem artifact. Toxicology. Post-mortem basic spleen blood, none detected. Hydrocarbon and oxygenated volatiles panel, spleen blood. Butanol 4.4, ethanol 31, propanol present, acetaldehyde present. Ethanol, liver tissue, see comment. And then the comment listed here is what we had read before about the concentration of the ethanol increasing from 99 milligrams to 174 milligrams over the course of the analyses. So they're not exactly sure, but they think the container type, which did not contain preservative, may explain that result. If you have any comments or information on that, and if it is of significance, please feel free to comment. Okay, next page, toxicology. Opinion. Based on the history provided and the autopsy findings, the likely cause of death is asphyxiation due to smothering. The toxicology results likely represent decomposition and an artifact of being submerged in an oil tank for several days. The manner of death is homicide. Michael Burson. History. The decedent is a 3-year-old Caucasian female, date of birth July 17, 2015, who has a medical history significant for peanut allergies. Reportedly, the decedent was reported missing along with her sister and mother on the afternoon of August 13, 2018. She was unfortunately subsequently found unresponsive in an obvious state of death contained within an oil tank battery on rural property. The decedent was pronounced dead at the oil field at 3:40 p.m. on August 16th. Witnesses. Personnel present for the post-mortem examination include Michael Burson, pathologist, and Joey Weiner, autopsy assistant. For a complete list of individuals present at the autopsy, please see the investigative report file held at the Weld County Coroner's Office. District Attorney disclaimer. At 10:10 a.m. on August 17th, the representative from the District Attorney's Office read a portion of an email which he received from the Public Defender's Office. In this email, the Public Defender has requested that we swab the necks of the children for residual trace DNA. According to him and his expert DNA witness, they anticipate trace DNA being preserved on the neck structures of the children despite being confined in a container of oil, water, and associated sludge matter over the course of 4 days. Identification by the Weld County Coroner, State of Colorado. Clothing. The decedent is received in an unsealed body bag and clad in the following clothing items. In parentheses, the clothing is all covered in oil and debris. A pink and black t-shirt, a diaper, a pair of underwear. Identifying marks and scars, none. Evidence of medical surgical intervention, none. External evidence of injury, no significant trauma is noted. Internal evidence of injury, none. General external examination. The autopsy is commenced at 5:30 p.m. on August 17th on the body of Celeste Watts at the McKee Medical Center, Loveland, Colorado. This autopsy is performed at the request of the Weld County Coroner, State of Colorado. The body is that of a well-developed, well-nourished Caucasian female whose appearance is generally consistent with the reported age of 3 years. The body measures approximately 37.5 inches long and weighs 37 pounds. At the time of autopsy, rigor mortis is released in the major muscle groups and the muscles of mastication. Livor mortis is not readily apparent due to postmortem artifact. The body exhibits mild postmortem artifact consisting of generalized bloating, areas of marbling, skin discoloration, and skin slippage. During the washing procedure, the majority of the skin is sloughed from the surface. Head. Head hair is red-brown, normally distributed, and measures up to 15 centimeters long over the crown. Eyes. The eyes are opacified, postmortem artifact. The irides appear brown. The pupils are equal at 0.3 centimeters. The sclerae are dull and there are no discernible scleral or conjunctival petechia. Nose. The nose is midline and does not grate upon palpation. Oral cavity. The oral cavity contains natural dentition in good repair. There are no buccal mucosal petechia. Neck. The neck structures are midline and without palpable adenopathy. Chest. The breasts and nipples are normal female. Abdomen. The abdomen is mildly protuberant and tense. Postmortem artifact. There is no detectable fluid wave. Genitalia. The external genitalia are normal female. Extremities. Upper extremities. The upper extremities are well developed and symmetrical. The palmar surfaces of the hands were previously sloughed off during the body recovery process and are packaged separately. The palmar surfaces of the hands and digits and the accompanying fingernails are retained and transferred to the jurisdiction of the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. Lower extremities. The lower extremities are well developed and symmetrical with all digits present. The toenails are short, slightly dirty, and in good repair. Back and sacrum. The back and sacrum are unremarkable. General internal examination. The body is opened with a routine thoracoabdominal incision. The subcutaneous fat measures 1 centimeter in thickness at the level of the umbilicus. Body cavities. There are no abnormal fluid accumulations or adhesions in any of the body cavities. The internal organs all exhibit marked discoloration and vacuolization due to postmortem artifact. Cardiovascular system. The heart weighs 80 grams. The epicardial surface is unremarkable. The coronary ostia are patent. The coronary arteries follow a right dominant distribution. Sectioning reveals no significant narrowing by atherosclerosis. There is no acute thrombosis. The endocardial surface and papillary muscles are unremarkable. The myocardium is red-brown, firm, and without fibrosis. The valve leaflets are thin and pliant. Aorta. The aorta has a normal smooth yellow intimal surface. There is minimal atherosclerotic streaking noted. The major branches, including the celiac, superior and inferior mesenteric and renal arteries, are widely patent. The inferior vena cava is unremarkable. Respiratory system. The right and left lungs weigh 180 and 160 grams, respectively, and show normal septation. The lung parenchyma is dark, pink-tan to purple, and markedly atelectatic. There are no masses or gross areas of consolidation. The trachea and main stem bronchi are unremarkable. There are no foreign bodies or masses. The pulmonary arteries are free of thromboemboli. Spleen. The spleen is soft and weighs 40 grams. The capsule is intact, smooth, and glistening. The parenchyma is firm, red-purple, and smooth. There are no infarcts, nodules, scars, or cysts present. Liver and biliary system. Liver. The liver weighs 320 grams. The capsule is intact. The parenchyma is firm and red-brown. No masses are detected. Gallbladder. A thin-walled gallbladder is empty. Gastrointestinal tract. Esophagus. The esophagus has a uniform diameter and intact mucosa. Stomach. The stomach is empty. The mucosa is smooth, glistening, and arranged in normal rugal folds. There are no gastric or duodenal ulcers. Small and large intestines. The small and large intestines have a uniform dimension and appear unremarkable. The vermiform appendix is present. So unlike Bella, Celeste's stomach is listed as being empty, whereas if you recall, Bella had, I think it was about 75 milliliters of that viscous fluid. So please comment if you have any information on that, why Bella may have had some of the fluid in her stomach, whereas Celeste did not. Pancreas. The pancreas is tan orange with lobular architecture. There is no evidence of hemorrhage or saponification. Adrenal glands. The adrenal glands have a golden cortex and gray-brown medulla. Genitourinary system. Kidneys. The right and left kidneys weigh 50 and 40 grams, respectively. The capsules strip with ease. The external cortical surface is red-purple and smooth. The cortices are well delineated from the medullary pyramids. The pelvis and ureters are non-dilated. Urinary bladder. The The urinary bladder is empty. The mucosal surface is tan pink, moist, and smooth. Female internal genitalia. The cervix, uterus, fallopian tubes, and ovaries are unremarkable. Neck. The anterior musculature is smooth and glistening. The epiglottis and hypopharynx are unremarkable. The hyoid bone and thyroid cartilage are intact. The laryngeal mucosa is pink-purple, moist, and smooth. There are no masses or aspirated material. The thyroid gland has symmetrical lobes and appears unremarkable. Spine. The spine has normal configuration. Skull and brain. Reflection of the scalp reveals no areas of laceration, contusion, or hematoma. The skull is intact and without fracture. The dura is intact and without epidural or subdural hemorrhage. There is no subarachnoid hemorrhage. The brain, markedly soft and edematous, in parentheses postmortem artifact, and weighs 1,280 grams. The cerebrovascular system has normal configuration. The cranial nerves are symmetrically intact. Serial coronal sections through the brain reveal no areas of hemorrhage, contusions, or mass lesion within the cortex, white matter, brainstem, or cerebellum. The atlanto-occipital joint is intact. The cervical spine column has normal mobility. Specimens obtained. Specimens. Specimens retained at the time of autopsy include pooled blood from the iliac veins and heart, blood obtained from the spleen and liver tissue. Toxicology. Pooled blood, spleen blood, and liver tissue are submitted to NMS labs for analysis. Histology. Sections of heart, lung, liver, kidney, and brain are submitted for histology. Evidence. Swabs of face prior to washing. Swabs of anterior neck prior to washing. Swabs of face after washing. Swabs of anterior neck after washing. Swabs of bilateral hands, palmar surface. Oral swabs, vaginal swabs, skin, palmar surfaces, and fingernails from the bilateral hands. Deoxyribonucleic acid blood spot card, DNA. Radiographs, X-rays. Full body X-rays are taken and submitted to the Weld County Coroner's Office. And similar to before, under microscopic examination, the following line applies to the following organs. Sections of the organ are without histopathological abnormality: heart, lung, liver, kidney, and brain. On the next list, it has a non-PDF file list. It has Shanann, Bella, and Watts listed with separate files, coronerfile.zip, so one for each. And then it has Shanann's X-rays, Bella's X-rays, and Celeste's X-rays. So that is where we'll end part 41 with this final toxicology and autopsy report. Again, I thank you for going through these with me. It has not been easy just to read through all this, and I don't take this information lightly, nor do I think any of you do, so I want to make sure we treat it with the utmost respect that it deserves. This was not merely for decedents. This was Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. I wanted to just take a minute to put up a picture here of them. This is one of my favorite pictures of them. It's absolutely beautiful. These are 3 lives, 3 futures, 3 mothers and daughters and sisters and granddaughters that were taken. And I want to just take a moment here to honor them. Thank them for sharing their lives with us, that we wish this had absolutely never happened. I want us to just take a minute to, wherever you are, to think about or pray for them and their family. We are so sorry, Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. We're so sorry that this happened to you. So if you could just take a minute and, again, think about them and pray. in loving memory of Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. God, we ask that you bless everyone that was involved, affected. There's so many. We ask for justice, we ask for peace, and we ask for healing. This is The Diplomat. Have a great day.